Good freaking morning, people. Big Red here. Thank you all for tuning in to my Red Talk. Today is January 24th. It is Wednesday. And it is a gloomy, rainy day out here. It's quite disgusting outside. Definitely not a fan of this. Yeah, I'm good on this shit, man. I really am. But just want to thank you all for tuning in. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Doing a morning talk with you guys, a Red Talk every morning. And starting today, I'm going to kind of steer this into a like a big man problem chat with you, which I think will be good because let's be real, there's a lot of shit in this world that ain't for big boys. A lot of shit in this world that's not for big boys, and it sucks. It really does. So just want to read. Oh man, God, everybody's driving like an idiot today. I hate this. It's so funny. Before I get into this, it's like, I don't know where you guys are from, all right? I'm on Long Island, obviously, and this is like, anytime there is the slightest bit of inclement weather, everybody forgets how to drive. Every single person. There's not a single person on the road that knows how to drive when the weather is kind of bad. Like, that's just, I don't know. That just is what it is here. You know, a little bit of rain. Oh, everybody's going to go 3 miles an hour. Okay, forget about snow. Oh, my God. If it snows a little bit, you would swear that we're in South Florida and these people have never seen a snowflake in their entire life. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't understand. Like, you live in New York. We get 4 full seasons. Okay, and we hit every season, every year. How are you not okay with this? How? Like, figure your life out. Okay? For the love of God, because I'm gonna run you off the road. Just kidding. I would never do that. But yeah. I don't get it. Do not get it. So, that being said, let's get into our first order of business on the big man problems here. And I gotta think of a good like name for that. So if you have any recommendations for me, drop them in the comments down below. But you know, I think this is just a common thing, and I don't think a lot of people think about or know about or whatever, because I feel like size-wise, I'm in the top probably 3% in the country. No, that's probably wrong, but I'm up there. All right. As it is now, I'm about 6'6" and weigh 385-ish pounds. So, you know, I'm up there. Definitely up there. Trying to work a little bit to bring that number down, but, you know, I'm still gonna be up there. Like, the crazy thing is, even if I lost like 80 pounds and I was still 300 pounds, like, I'm still be a 300-pound man, which is wild. So, first order of business that came to my head when thinking about this last night: airplane seats. Airplane seats. Now, here's my thing. I'm going to lead this off with, I understand that airlines try and maximize and get all they can out of one plane ride. right? Makes sense. So it would make sense that they'd make the seats a little bit smaller because maybe, you know, if every seat is 2 inches smaller, they gain a full row throughout the plane, which is probably the case. And, but man, does it suck sitting on an airplane. Sitting on an airplane has got to be in economy, because I'm not flying first class or private anywhere, because obvious reasons there. But like the normal run-of-the-mill seat that everybody gets, it is torture. Absolute torture. Now, not only do I feel bad for me, right? I rarely fly without my wife. All right, and she is a fucking champ, because the way we do this, we set it up that she will take the middle seat, I will take the aisle seat, and then I just like spill over onto her the entire time. Like, that's the only way it works, you know. So she's a champ. But like sitting on airplane seats, and like my knees go directly into the hinges for the tray table thing that comes down, straight into that. I could barely put the table down, and then like width-wise, like my butt just doesn't fit in the seat. It just is what it is. Like, I just can't fit. I don't, you know, there's no other way to put it. Like, my butt cheeks are wider than the seat cushion itself, which leads to a very uncomfortable ride, because then they have like the hard plastic in between that's like kind of under, but you don't feel typically if you're normal. But for me, I get it half on my right cheek, half on my left cheek every time. But you know, the seat's just small. The seatbelt, so I know they have seatbelt extenders. I'm not there yet. All right. I think my goal is to never get there. Like, if I haven't needed it at this point, and I've been, you know, flying as a 400-pound human being, I truly don't think I ever will. But I'm gonna make sure I don't. But I know they have that. But like the seatbelt, like I have to extend it all the way just to get it in, and like it barely fits. So that's just like wrapped. And then I do the little fat boy move where I pick my belly up and put it under my belly, so you know, it's tucked in there. And then I just really don't move the entire flight. I can never sleep on a plane because I can't put my head back normally. Like, it's wild. Absolutely wild. And you know, like I said, my knees will be in the hinges for the tray table, and you know, food comes around, like it's not even worth putting the tray table down half the time. Depends on the plane. Sometimes it's alright, sometimes it's bad. But I mean, if the person in front of me reclines, then it's a wrap. And I typically have my knees wedged to the point where, like, if you try and recline, it's not going to work because you're just going to hit my knee. And that is what it is. Is it strategic? Yes, it is, 100%. Okay, because I don't want you, reclining and then you're literally in my lap. All right, I really don't fucking fit on these things. Why are you going to make my life more difficult for the next couple hours? And then, you know, I have this like unwritten rule that I go by as well for myself, and like, I don't recline the seat. I won't recline the seat. I don't think I don't think, like, obviously, I don't think anybody else thinks like this, but, like, just being a big dude in an airplane, you know, like, obviously, I don't want the seat reclined on me, so why am I going to recline my seat on somebody else? That's just me trying to look out for everybody else, and, you know, what is that inch leaning back really going to do? Like, nothing. It's just going to make the person behind you more uncomfortable. You know, now, obviously, if it's like a child or an empty seat or something, that's a different story, but yeah, it's like trying to fit on an airplane is probably one of the more brutal things that big people have to go through. And a fun little hack I found sitting in the aisle seat. So if you have the armrest that's lining the aisle, if you go under the armrest and back towards the hinge, towards the back of the seat, there's typically a button there that will lift the handle up, the armrest up. So 10 out of 10 times I lift that up and kind of wiggle myself in, and I could, like, I don't know, spread my hips out, and then I'll either, like, put it down so it's, like, resting directly onto my leg, or I just leave it up the whole time. That's a little life hack for you, because that's a good one. So if you're sitting in the aisle seat, all right, take a feel under your armrest there, hit the button, pull that thing up, all right, and it honestly, it instantly makes life a lot better. It really does. So give that a try. Comment down below if you knew that little life hack already, or if I just taught you something new, as I'm interested to hear about that. And yeah, it's like traveling on a plane is obviously an adventure all the time, but it's definitely more of an adventure being, you know, 6'6" and damn near 400 pounds. You know, and it's always funny because, like, you know how you walk down the little ramp thing to get to the plane? I forget what that's called. The gangway, you know, to get to the plane. And then I go onto the plane, and I always have to, like, really duck to get under the thing, the door, you know, because the door is very little. And all the flight attendants are like, "Oh my God, watch your head," like laughing. You know, so sometimes it pays off though, because, you know, I'll go in and I'll, you know, sit there. I always talk to everybody. I can't help it. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is. And, you know, I'm going to talk to you most likely. And I think, you know, I think it helps sometimes, because if there's, you know, say 3 people in my row and then an open row someplace, you know, the flight attendants will typically come over and ask if I would like to move, if I want, like, a full row to myself, or even if there's just, like, somebody sitting in the window seat and, you know, an aisle seat open, you know, they come over and be like, "Hey, would you like to, you know, maybe move up here? I think you have a little more room." 100% of the time I'm saying yes. All right, I will move all the time. So, you know, sometimes that pays off, and it's, you know, they're not stupid. It's, you know, they get it. And I think, you know, I think it's, you know, I said in the beginning, right, I understand. Okay, if I'm JetBlue and I can make these seats 2 inches shorter or whatever, and, you know, fit an extra row where 6 people are going to pay $300 round trip to go, you know, who are they to turn down $1,800? Right? Like, it makes sense. You know, it's just an inconvenience being, you know, me, really. and now my wife as well. And now forget about if I'm traveling alone. Like when I recently went to Florida, flew down by myself, right? Got a window seat going down. Awful. Absolutely awful. Right? Couldn't sit straight up because of the curve of the plane. So I was like constantly like this, or like I wedged my like head and shoulder back in there, and it was terrible. Thankfully, the woman that sat in the middle was a very, very tiny person and took up no room whatsoever, and she just like curled up in a ball and fell asleep. So that was huge. That was definitely a win. But like, window seat, no thank you. Middle seat, no shot. No shot. I'm not being that guy. I mean, I'm at the point where I'd almost rather switch my flight than sit in the middle seat. That's where I'm at with that. But it's wild, and it sucks. It does. It's not fun. It's always like, it's always one of those things in my head that I'm like, all right, I fly to Orlando a lot. It's just about a 3-hour flight going down typically. I'm like, all right, these next 3 hours are gonna suck. And then it's like, but when we get there, it's gonna be okay. I went to Ireland. When I went to Ireland, that was brutal. I spent most of the time standing in the exit aisle just because I was like so crammed into that little seat and couldn't, I couldn't move. I was like, it was terrible. So, it's one of those things where it's like, also it's a good drive to have, because I was like, all right, now I have to be successful in life to the point where I can pay for business class or first class seats all the time. So that's kind of a good thing. That's kind of like, a good drive to have now. But at the same time, I'm just like, what I would give to be normal and to not be completely uncomfortable on a plane. That's the dream. I say that, but I would never want to be like a normal person. I like who I am. I like who it is. I like being big and being me. Yeah, it's just, being big, going on a plane, there's certain things you have to be ready for. And, the seat being one of them, that if you're in an economy seat, you're going to be squished. And it's going to suck. The other thing is the bathroom situation. I can't even stand up in. It is like fully bent over, fully hunched over. Like when I go just to take a piss, I have to I lean against the wall and have to lean forward into, it's a disaster. Absolute disaster. All right? Let alone if you have to take a shit. Like what I do now is this is not good, but I take Imodium before every single one of my flights, because I know that I can't fit in the toilet to shit on the flight down. That's like, gotta just do what I gotta do. I had one absolute horrific incident coming home from Puerto Rico once, where I got food poisoning before we left, and I was on the plane and I was so sick, and honestly had the worst runs of my entire life. And it was so bad to the point, I couldn't sit on the toilet and close the door. That's how small this airplane bathroom was. So I couldn't sit on the toilet and close the door, and luckily I had probably one of the best flight attendants ever, and it was like the back of the plane, you know, so there was like 2 bathrooms and like the hostess, the stewardess thing back there, and then they could close off the back door, you know, so it blocks off the entire thing, you know. And this lady was awesome, and, you know, realized the situation and the gravity of the situation, that, you know, your boy had an issue, and was just like, she's like, all right, what we're gonna do, she goes, I'm gonna take everything I need out of here. You're gonna use this door to close it, so you don't have to worry about closing that door, and we will be good. So I spent the entire time from Puerto Rico flying home absolutely shitting my brains out in the back of the plane that was basically sectioned off for me. So shout out to you if you remember that and you're watching this. I really am upset I can't remember your name, but you changed my life. Know that. You changed my life. You made me know that there are good people in this world. But man, was that like the panic that set in when I realized I couldn't close the door while sitting on the toilet, and knowing that I just had lava coming out of me, was the worst feeling in the entire world. And I was like 17 years old. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. So another life hack for you big boys. If you're worried about having to take a shit on the plane and you're not going to fit in the bathroom, just pop an Imodium. Take an Imodium before you leave the house. It'll fully kick in by the time you're about to take off, and 9 out of 10 times you shit like normal the night before when you get there. So that's my trick for you. So, but yeah, I've had some like absolutely horrific airplane stories. So if you guys are interested in more of those, drop a comment down below and let me know. And you know, if you have any, you know, fat boy issues you want me to talk about as well, drop a comment. I'll get at them. I have a couple of things lined up, so I'm gonna, you know, touch on them here and there as they come up and as I think about them and all that stuff. So, and really just apply it to whatever happens in my life the day before. It just is what it is. I'll be on here every day. So that's all I got for you. Like I said, if you have any airplane stories or, you know, tips and tricks yourself, drop it in the comments down below. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. You know, I'm gonna have some fat boy problems going forward, and yeah, that's really it. So that's all I got for today. Hopefully some of these tricks help you. That would, you know, I would like that. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the post notifications on, all that good jazz. And yeah, I'm done. Peace.